Well, the beautiful west coast of Sweden provides the spectacular backdrop for the last of our World Super Series qualifiers. An opportunity for Britain's strongest man, Jimmy Marku, to lock horns with the great Swede, Magnus Samuelsson. Now, for Samuelsson and the rest of the athletes, it's a final opportunity to book their place in the World Strongest Man Finals to be held here in Charleston, West Virginia, later in the year. They're going to have to use every ounce of power to book their ticket to get there, though I'm sure we can find something slightly more comfortable than this C-130 to bring them over. Although I do get the feeling that if they make it through to the final, they're going to end up pulling one of these. For 364 days of the year, Lysekil is a sleepy Swedish coastal town, but today it's being overrun by strongmen. Let's meet the athletes. In his first international, Laurence Shahlaei from Gloucester. The 7 times Danish champion, René Minkvits. German #1, Florian Trimpel. Ravis Vidzis, the Latvian champion. And from Sweden, Andreas Rossell. Britain's strongest man, Jimmy Marku. And the Estonian champion, Tarmo Mitt. Richard Skog from Norway. The Mohegan Sun champion, Derek Poundstone. And the world's strongest man of 1998, Magnus Samuelsson.
I haven't been beaten in my home country in 15 years. I have no plan starting today. Welcome to Sweden.
Over 2,000 fans are packed into the makeshift stand on the quayside. Talking us through the 6 disciplines are our expert commentators Nick Halling and first up, Colin Bryce.
Normally when I'm in a 2-ton car, I like a couple of hundred horsepower to pull it along. But for our strongmen, they have 3 of these cars attached together. The event is called the arm-over-arm pull. And Magnus, you have to just pull it with your bare hands. How hard is it going to be?
Well, Colin, this is going to be a really hard event. The movement is a bit like rowing, but for big boys. And we're going to pull 6 tons with arm and back strength. It's a tough one, both for grip, back, and coordination. And a tough event, just like we like it here in Scandinavia.
All right, rowing for big boys. There you are.
Well, let's see who's going to make a splash as the big boys get going. The Estonian Tarmo Mitt was first up, followed by Richard Skog. They had a tough time. Laurence Shahlaei from Gloucester. Let's see how he fares. Beautiful sunshine here and lots of distractions. But Laurence has got his mind on one thing and one thing only. Pulling cars. And he's pulling them pretty well. In fact, he's pulling them so well, they may crash into the buffers here. This is good stuff from Laurence.
Well, coming fourth of Britain's strongest man really was when he showed his ability, and now getting his chance at his first ever international competition. It's a great opportunity. As we've seen with the earlier athletes, there's a little hill at the end here where they get stuck.
And that's going to be the tough bit. That's where he's really got to keep momentum. If those things come to a halt, you're in trouble. So far, so good for Laurence. The finish line hoving into view. They've got a great beer barrel marking one point of the finish line. You'll feel like a drink after you pull these cars, won't you? And it's starting to get really hard. Got 15 seconds of this torture left, Laurence. Come on, can you do it?
Once your grip goes, it's just a nightmare to hang on to it. He's trying to wrap it around his arms to try and get any kind of grip there.
And those cars have stopped. He's got a little bit more, but I don't think there's an awful lot more coming. That's not bad. 23.2 for Laurence Shahlaei. Jimmy Marku, fresh from his success in Minehead.
Well, winning Britain's strongest man this year means a hell of a lot to me because last had a few injuries. I was very confident I would do right, but winning I was a little bit competing with some good top guys there. It was a bit good achievement for me. I got a few more injuries as a car accident, and when I did the wrestling in the heats and the game of wars and lots of injuries, so I don't know, I still can't believe how did I wanted that. I suppose when you're a fighter, you have to be a fighter until then. Derek Poundstone is one of the good guys, which he's going to be absolutely big threat, and he's been competing in some good shows, and he's quite strong. And Samuelsson is an old wolf, and he knows how to hunt, and he's one of the guys. He knows how to get the praise, and he is in the homeland, so he's going to be fighting to defend his homeland. So it's going to be a good show. That's all I can say.
Can Jimmy Marku get one over Samuelsson? Join us after the break to find out. Welcome back to Lisa Shield, where the newly crowned Britain's strongest man, Jimmy Marku, is about to try and deal with the arm-over-arm pull.
Well, Jimmy showed what he was all about at Britain's Strongest Man earlier in the summer. Let's see if he can replicate that kind of form here. Nice little tune-up event for Jimmy ahead of the World's Strongest Man. You win the British Strongest Man, you are guaranteed entry to that, so he's just keeping himself in shape here, and he's got great rhythm. He's making this look very easy, Jimmy, at the moment.
Not really using his legs at the moment. That might be a mistake if his arms get tired.
Yeah, there's a way to go yet, and he's starting to feel the strain a little bit now. Now it's not coming so easy as he hits the hill. There are various supporters here just watching on and thinking, well, now I know why they're strongmen, because this is beyond mere mortals, this is. It really is. One car would be beyond most of us. 3, impossible. And Jimmy has hit the wall. It looked terrific early on, but his technique's all over the place now.
He just can't hold on to it at all, can he? His fingers are all pumped up full of blood. He's trying to wrap it around his back. Haven't seen that one before.
No, he's clutching at straws, isn't he? Well, he's got a little bit more. But the way he started, you thought he was going to really rip it up. As it is, he has to settle for a not too bad 26.4.
Up to second place.
You get the feeling Jimmy thought that was easy. And then suddenly, he hit the wall, and then it was a strain. A good second effort. Derek Poundstone has crossed the Atlantic, having really created quite a stir in the US. This is somebody we're going to be seeing a lot of over the next few years. A winner in his home state of Connecticut and a second place at Madison Square Garden has confirmed that Derek Poundstone is for real. A policeman back home in Connecticut, where he's used to pulling cars over. Here he's got to pull them along. Well, he's got that rope swinging and swaying a little bit, and the momentum's okay at the moment, but how's he going to cope when he hits the this slight incline that really is catching these guys out? If you haven't got a lot of momentum when you hit the incline, you're in deep trouble.
Well, again, he's another man not really using his legs. Magnus Samuelsson said it was like rowing for big boys, and we all know rowing is all about legs and back. Trying to use their arms too much here, the strongmen. They have such powerful upper bodies, don't they? It's easy to go to your upper body. Now he's paying the price.
And as you see, that car has come to a stop. It's not the wheels coming off. The wheels just aren't going round. And I'm not sure that Derek's going to get too much more of this. And I think you're like Jimmy. Derek thought when this started off, this is easy. Then suddenly that little incline comes in. And Derek needs a bit more, you know. And he's out of time. 22.45. Not too good. Yeah, he knows it.
Well, so far, nobody's finished. Only Magnus Samuelsson to go, and I'm starting to wonder whether anybody will do this.
The man with the strongest arms in the world. Let's hear it for the giant Swede, Magnus Samuelsson!
And in his home country as well, and you heard the build-up, and it's no exaggeration, the man with the strongest arms in the world, Magnus Samuelsson. But look how he's working, totally different technique. Now, this is more like rowing. This is exactly what he was talking about. And it's not just about the arms here. Look how he's using the legs. It's like he's on a rowing machine in the gym.
Oh, look at the speed of the cars as well. The other guy's just trickling along. He's over the initial inertia and he's keeping them moving, isn't he?
And it's this movement, this speed. He's got those cars moving at speed. That's going to help him get them up the hill because he'll get a little bit of a run. They're getting closer. He's now starting to find it hard work, but still keeping his rowing together.
Well, those Viking ship rowing genetics are coming good here, Nick. It's close.
His ship has come in. And he made it look easy. Nobody else got close. Magnus didn't even need a full minute. Never mind 75 seconds. All about technique. Well, he knew what he was doing, didn't it? It helps that you're tall. That definitely helps with an event like this. But that wasn't just about height. That was about knowing how to work this event.
So Magnus Samuelsson, the only man to finish in a time of 52 seconds. For Jimmy Marku, it's a solid start. He's down in third.
So our next test of strength is the bench press. You might have seen this in your local gym. It's fairly easy. You go underneath the apparatus and rep it out. Easy enough with one hand. When you got these two big brutes next to you. Now, Sven Karlsson, tell us a bit about this.
Well, it's not like the gym lift. You don't have too many ATVs inside the gym, but it's actually 200 kilos in the handles for the athletes to complete as many repetitions as possible within the 75-second time limit.
That's 440 pounds in the hands. 8 or 10 reps will be good with this.
8 or 10. Try none for poor old Laurence Shahlaei, who never got this going. Tarmo Mitt, a very experienced campaigner, just 6 for him. And Richard Skog, though, well, he managed 12. Derek Poundstone next. Good to see Derek coming over to Europe. We see a lot of Europeans going to America. The traffic not so plentiful going the other way, but Poundstone, you just get the sense he wants to experience as much as he possibly can of this event. Oh, he's blasted through the first 6 or 7 of these, hasn't he? I think Derek, all these guys have a look at what the other guys do, and I think he's decided, you know what, this weight is going to drain you pretty quick, so get as many reps in as you possibly can right up front.
Well, you know, this is an event anybody could try in the gym. It's 200 kilos. I mean, I wouldn't advise taking 200 kilos on the bar in a bench press. To be honest, if you can lift 60 or 70 kilos, you're doing fairly well. But it's so gym dependent, this. These guys can train this all the time, and you see Poundstone, he's done his homework here.
He really has. I like the way he took that little pause there when he got to 12. I just bought him another couple. He's getting the oxygen into the bloodstream here. There might be just enough for one more rep. How's the arm strength? How's that lactic acid flowing around there? Yep, there's the extra one. Is there another one? Or is that it? Well, he took one regroup and got 2. Another regroup, and he's got 1, and that's good. 15 reps. Very cleverly done. Just maximising what you got. He showed the smarts and the savvy of a strongman veteran.
Derek, you happy with that?
I think it was all right. I think that might fall, though. I know Magnus is quite the bencher, so I think he'll get 16, just enough. The rest of the field, I think, will be just under mine, but it's going to be close. I think I could have been good for 2 more, but a pre-existing pec tear is really starting to bother me after about 6 reps, so it might be the traveling, might be I'm a little under the weather. It could be, I don't know what it is, but it bothered me a little bit. I feel like I could have done 2 more, you know?
The first event wasn't good, though, huh?
It never is for me. I had it in my mind the way I wanted to do it, and it wasn't going the way I planned in the beginning. I just figured I'd just steam through the whole course at that pace, but I died quickly. All of a sudden, I lost all my hand strength, and the rest was history. So, you know, I tend to come from behind in almost all these Super Series competitions, so here we go again.
Jimmy Marku, the reigning Britain's strongest man. Fabulous 2008 he's had. Always has a smile on his face. But I wonder if Jimmy's going to be smiling at the end of this.
He's got bags of upper body strength, Nick. We've seen that at Britain's Strongest Man, where he was the best at log press. It's a slightly different movement, much more chest, much more pec. As Poundstone was saying, well, here's his first break, and it was a forced one.
It's like a pit stop, isn't it, in Formula One? You got to know when to time them. And Jimmy has said to himself, 10, I need a refuel. Now, can he get a couple more like Poundstone did after his first break? There they are. Can he put another one on top, though? No, just like Poundstone, he has to retool again. And from here, Poundstone only managed 1 more. Jimmy's trying everything to psych himself up. I don't think that 15 is going to be up for grabs. 13? Yes. Is there a 14th? No. Well, he emulates Derek Poundstone, who added 2 more after his first stop, then 1 after the second stop, and that was it. And 13 is unlucky for Jimmy. He wanted a couple more.
Jimmy, you must be pleased with that.
I'm very happy, very happy. 14 reps is quite good. I haven't done bench for almost 2 years and a half, so it's good to know he's there.
Yeah, you seem to stop, take a rest. Was that all tactics to get your breath back?
Just enjoying the weather in Sweden. It's nice weather, so I like to get some suntan in the face.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Well.
Mina damer och herrar, till bänken, Magnus Samuelsson!
This is the man enjoying home comforts. The man who made the carpool look easy, and the man who Derek Poundstone fears most in this event, Magnus Samuelsson.
And with such long arms, you'd think he wasn't a good bench presser, but of course, we've spoken about the fact that he has the world's strongest arms before. Huge triceps, Magnus. And 11 without stopping.
There was a bit of a pause there. He gets to 12. I think he'll take a breather here. So if he mirrors Marku and Poundstone, he's going to get to 15. He needs a couple more after his first stop. Let's see if he can do it. There's one, and listen to those fans. They're enjoying every second of this, even if Magnus isn't. Now, does he take another stop now? He hasn't even got the 14th. They've not given it to him. It was close, but not good enough.
Well, his wife, Christine, former Sweden's strongest woman, cheering him on.
Now, is there another one to push Jimmy down the order a little bit? And for Magnus to take sole possession of second place. I don't think it's coming.
No, he can't lock his arms out.
No, he's going to have to share it with Jimmy. So, Poundstone has done it. That's a big scout for Derek Poundstone.
Magnus has some life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, didn't really get out of this event what I was hoping for, but please, you know, Poundstone really strong guy, and I seem to only use my tricep because that was the only thing I got pumped. The chest feels great. I just need to open more wide, I think.
You were very, very narrow, which is all tricep, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a while since we did this bench machine, and maybe I've grown in size because I took the stand I usually hold, but it became too narrow and triceps burned up so fast. But saying that,
well, you're growing older. You're a big boy now.
I'm a big boy, I must say I'm enjoying this start of the contest, first and second place against these guys.
Your arms must be destroyed now, though, and we got tire flip next. That's going to make it very difficult, isn't it?
It's going to be a hard event. Having 2 torn biceps, I will try to forget that in the next event.
All right, good to get some rest.
Thanks.
Despite the chest pain, Derek Poundstone takes the bench press with 15 reps, and it's another good finish for Marku, who draws with Samuelsson for second. Samuelsson is in the lead, but Jimmy Marku is in second place. Poundstone and Skog tie for third. Laurence Shahlaei doesn't make the top 8.
So our third event's the tire flip. 4 flips with a 400-kilo tire, and then this enormous 530-kilo tire for 1 flip. Laurence, it's the biggest tire ever in international competition. Do you fancy it?
We'll see. You know, it's going to be tough after doing the smaller tire. You get a bit fatigued, but I'll give it a good go, that's for sure.
Now, you haven't had the best start, have you?
No, it's been a pretty bad start, to be honest. Bench press, my worst event. So, you know, I haven't had the gym training for to build up the strength for that kind of event. I'm a little bit better at the more athletic events, so fingers crossed it'll go okay.
And what's it like competing against the real international big boys like Magnus?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, Magnus was like my hero when I was a kid. I remember watching him in all the World's Strongest Mans when I was like 12, 13. So it's an honour to be competing against these type of guys. But saying that, I'm going to try my best to beat them as well.
You bet. Good luck, eh?
Thanks. Cheers.
Well, Tarmo Mitt managed 5 flips in 27.43. Richard Skog just under that, 26 seconds.
Okay, we're ready to roll with the
So here's Laurence Shahlaei. Had that disaster last time out, needs to forget all about that, needs to just refocus.
Laurence Shahlaei, go!
How quickly can he get through his 5 flips? Well, the first tyre is being called the small tyre by the competitors. Most normal people couldn't even move it off the ground. That's how small it is. But Laurence has zipped through there. And he's got a decent chance getting his nose in front here. Let's see if he can achieve it. Oh, a little bit of a stumble. No, he's not going to beat Skog. But he's happy enough just to get 5 flips, although the time isn't particularly good. At least he's back in business. It's the Atlas Stones. We'll be seeing them later on. That young man will have to get off his perch. Jimmy Marku isn't thinking about the Atlas Stones. He's thinking about the tyre flip right now. Jimmy, of course, already qualified for the world's strongest man, so a top 4 finish here, not a necessity, but all these athletes, whenever they enter a competition, they want to win it. They all want to finish number 1. Anything less is a disappointment. 25 plus change is the fast time. Is he going to challenge Skog? No, that little push there, I think, has just frustrated him. He should get inside 30, though. 26.94. Should get some decent points for that. Just a little stumble there. I think that extra large tyre just catches them all out a little bit after they've had really no problem flipping the smaller one. Magnus Samuelsson inevitably gets the biggest cheer of the afternoon.
Well, that first tyre's seen better days, hasn't it? It hasn't got the best grip. You can make a mistake just because your hands can slip off it so easily. Not for Magnus. This is easy for him.
Definitely an element of been there, done it for Magnus. Now, can he challenge Skog? And again, he too has had to stop. 25 plus change will be good enough. What's he got? He'll do it. That'll be first place, 24.28. That's a full second inside Skog's time. Plenty of life in this old dog. Well, that was very impressive, wasn't it? Yeah. Magnus has earned that. Poundstone knows 24.28 is his target. Derek's enjoying himself here in Sweden. He really has been given a warm welcome by this Swedish strongman crowd. And it's showing that he does travel as well. Going to stand him in good stead for the future. Magnus is thinking, is my time going to go?
This is going to be close.
Very close. Forget it, Magnus. 23.34.
Well, Poundstone, he does start badly, but he keeps getting better and better. Such a fighter.
Magnus Samuelsson is definitely starting to look beatable as the new superpower of strongman Derek Poundstone wins by almost a second. Marku and Shahlaei take 4th and 8th respectively. Overall, after 3 events, Magnus is holding on to his lead of 27.5 points. Marku is in 2nd on 23.5, and Poundstone takes 3rd outright with 22. Join us after the break to see if Jimmy Marku can be the first Brit ever to win a Super Series. Welcome back to sunny Lysekil in Sweden, where our strongmen face a rather awkward 4th discipline.
So our next event is the safe lift. You have to lift this bar up, and it weighs 135 kilos, and jerk it overhead for as many reps as possible in 75 seconds. Now, at national competitions like Britain's Strongest Man, this is only 115 kilos. So Sven, we're talking about 20 plus kilos more at this level. How easy is this going to be?
Well, it's called the safe lift, but this is anything but safe. It's going to be wobbling all over the place.
Well, Laurence Shahlaei from Gloucester wobbled his way through 5 reps of the safes. And Richard Skog, in trying to protect a top 4 position, managed 13. So it's Tarmo Mitt, the Estonian, who's been in the World's Strongest Man, currently finding himself outside the top 4 with a little bit of work to do. And the trick is to try and keep them controlled. When they do start wobbling and swinging around a little bit, that's when it all seems to go horribly wrong.
It's good to see Tarmo Mitt back, though. in Anaheim when he made the final in the first event. Of course, that bad injury to his arm. This is first international back, and if he gets top 4, well, his second competition this year will be the world's strongest man again, won't it? In West Virginia.
Which would be an amazing achievement, and you know it's something he wants. Even if that competition would come too early for the best of him, it would be good to see him back in business. Well, he'll like that. How much more is there left, though? 14. Come on, Tarmo, give us a couple more. Well, this is good lifting from Tarmo Mitt. No, they're not going to give him that. Didn't get the full extension of the arms. But 15, 16 now. Quick retool, and Tarmo says, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, deserves a smile. That's good. And that'll put some pressure on the guys in front of him.
So what's the Tarmo secret? Secret? No secret. I just lost the counting. I didn't know how much I had to do. And weight wasn't heavy for me. I just ran out of air.
So here's Jimmy.
Jimmy Marku!
Small in stature, broad in shoulder. How much it's done for him winning Britain's Strongest Man. What does that do for him psychologically? Because he's been knocking on the door of a major trophy for quite a while now. Now he's got it.
Yeah, he's a man with very little international experience as well. He came 4th in Britain's Strongest Man the previous year, then won it this year. Big surprise really to everybody, I think, but himself. Certainly to Terry Hollands, who was the reigning champion. And we've seen Terry and Mark Felix do well at Mohegan Sun earlier this year, and now Jimmy looking solid here. Britain really has a good international presence now.
And it's his all-round game that I think has really impressed. Jimmy Marku doesn't really have any major weaknesses, so any of these guys, there's one event that catches them out. 15, so he's closing in on Tarmo Mitt's 16. And I wonder if he's lost count as well.
10 seconds, time's running out.
That's the match. Now, another one here, and he'll take... No, he's not going to get it, but that's not bad. He'll share top spot. Although there's a few more big guns still to fire. Yeah, you tell him, Jimmy.
So, Jimmy, that was always going to be a good event for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, Passion was one of my favorite events, but it's a bit hard because it's hot.
Looks like you're struggling with the heat here in Sweden. That's a bit unusual.
Well, it's way too hot. The crowd, they're making us more hot than usually.
All right, good man.
Let's see if Magnus Samuelsson can apply some heat.
Look how much lower the bar is than when Jimmy Marku had it. There's almost a foot of difference between these guys.
Yeah, if it was a world's tallest man competition, I don't think we'd be seeing Jimmy Marku getting through qualifying, but it's not about your stature, it's about your strength. Samuelsson not exactly firing on all cylinders, but keeping a good rhythm. The question is, how many can he get through in his 75 seconds? If he can keep up this pace, he will take top spot. But a couple of the others, certainly Tarmo Mitt, just went out flying and then just really dredged a couple more up at the end. And I think Magnus is starting to feel this already. There's a 12th. A way to go yet. Plenty of time to beat 16. That one didn't count. But now he's starting to feel the heat. And now it's getting difficult. Needs a couple more. There is time. They'll give him that one. One more to draw level. They love that. Is there time for a winner? I don't think there is. But 16. No. He joins Tarmo on 16.
Well, for a short man's event, Magnus Samuelsson at 6'7" didn't do too badly, did he?
He really didn't. It was all about pacing for Magnus. He didn't go off like a greyhound out the traps. He just took it steady. So Derek, with the advantage of knowing what he has to beat, always a slow starter. Anytime Derek Poundstone actually plays a full game, as it were, he's going to really take some stopping, because it's almost like he needs an event to get warm and then get motivated. He puts himself towards the back of the field, and that seems to give him a jolt that he needs, and then he really does find a groove. So 16 is what we'll be looking at. Poundstone gets to 17, he will increase his advantage. He's taking it nice and steady. He's taking a leaf out of the Samuelsson book.
Again, using his legs well. You really have to after the bench press. These guys will have very tired triceps and shoulders. Getting close.
Yeah, that was a bit of a giveaway, wasn't it? But hang on, look at the clock. Lots of time to put 2 more in. There it is. And he's going to do it again. Pacing, absolutely brilliant. And he's having a look around as if to say, you know what? I just whipped a lot of you. And he did, because there was more there for Derek if he needed them.
Derek, you must be thrilled with that.
Yeah, my chest is feeling a little better. Nothing a little ice can't fix, you know?
To be fair, you called it. You said you were going to win that one, and you did it, which is very, very impressive. Is that your best event? Is that why?
I think I have some of the best shoulders in the world. Not the strongest, but not only I'm a good presser, but my conditioning's pretty good. So anything for reps is good for me.
Now looking forward, the keg toss is definitely against guys like you. I'm not saying you're short, you're over 6 foot tall, but in this game, it's short, right? The next event's going to be tough.
Well, I've done some weight for height competitions in Scotland. I usually am pretty good. I've thrown over 17 feet, 3 feet from the world record height. So usually another good event for me. I'm really explosive. So it'll be interesting. I think I'm going to shock some people with this event. So.
All righty, well, go get some rest. You'll be up soon.
Excellent, thank you.
So Derek Poundstone takes 3 events in a row, 17 reps, 1 ahead of the chasing pack of Samuelsson, Mitt and Marku. And he looked good for more. With 2 events to go, Magnus is still in the lead, but by only 3.5 points ahead of Poundstone. Marku has dropped to 3rd, just half a point adrift of the American, as we move on to an old favourite.
Our penultimate event is the keg toss. You have to throw each one of these 15-kilo beer kegs up over our 6-metre high wall. That's nearly 20 feet. Now, Sven, how fast is this going to be done, or will it be done at all?
Well, the athlete has 90 seconds. I'm glad I'm done with my throwing days. Now it's only drinking beers.
Well, these are actually empty, but I'm sure we'll be doing a bit of that later, my friend. Let's get on with the action.
Well, somebody better get Laurence Shahlaei a drink after this. No technique at all, didn't manage a single keg. Tarmo Mitt, 5 in 31.59. That was just a little bit quicker than Richard Skog. I hope they've handed out the hard hats, because when Jimmy gets going, these kegs really could go anywhere. They could be in the sea. Or maybe not. Good job, Jimmy ducked there. Didn't get the radar tuned properly. Now the radar's tuned, and that one only just made it over, though. It's not just about getting height, you've got to get the angles right with this keg toss.
Well, this was the event Jimmy was most worried about. You remember back to Anaheim, he didn't get one single keg over at World's Strongest Man. He's been practicing. Of course, all kegs are different. The ones in West London might be a little bit different shape, different handles. He's getting it now, though.
He seems to get a good one and then have a disaster. So he's had his disaster. So by the law of averages, this should be a good one, but it isn't. So he's starting to struggle to get to elevation. That can really took him out there, yeah. I mean, Jimmy would be laid out if he hadn't caught that. And there goes number 4. The time isn't going to be troubling Tarmo Mitt or Richard Skog.
Well, I think for Jimmy, this is a success. He was really worried about getting these over. He was speaking to Poundstone about his technique and all the others.
Just cracking 70 seconds. Very happy with that, and the more he does it, the better he gets. So, Poundstone knows 32, 33 seconds, or thereabouts, to take top spot. And there it gets a bit of a sighter to start with as well. That wasn't a very good first keg at all. The second one goes up about 10 feet higher.
That was incredible. So much explosive power in Derek Poundstone.
That one, a lot of power, but didn't get the angle right. But the way that first keg went over, the first keg went over at the second attempt. Look at that, look at the height. But he doesn't get it right.
Well, panic will be setting in now. He knows this isn't good. A number of guys have got them all over. Keep his head.
And he's blown a bit hard there. That second one went down, that went over easy, didn't it?
Well, it hit Magnus Samuelsson's wife.
Should have kicked it back in the net. Now he's getting it going. Now, can he knock off Jimmy Marku here? He's only got 10 seconds to do it. I'm not sure he's going to do it. There goes the fourth. If he can crack 70 seconds, he will beat Jimmy, but I don't think he will. It's going to be very close. He'll have to get the stopwatches out, and no, he can't get past Jimmy. He won't be very happy with that either.
The giant Swede undefeated for 50 years in Sweden, Magnus Samuelsson!
The giant Swede. What can he come up with here on home turf? Let's hope he doesn't hit the misses behind the bar, and look at the technique. Holding them sideways on.
That's the tall man's technique. He can actually get them between his legs. He's got the big Spice Girl boots on as well, as if his legs weren't long enough.
And that 32-second mark of Tarmo Mitt is under threat, or it was until then. But I think Mitt's going to be okay, and Skog's going to be okay.
Wow,
Is Magnus going to be okay?
This is surprising, because using this technique normally means it's safer, because it's not flicking end over end. Usually it should roll over even if you hit the bar. Now he's getting into his groove.
He certainly is. But this is good news for Tarmo Mitt. Good news for Richard Skog. And the fifth one goes for Magnus Samuelsson.
So, Jimmy, a bit of surprise there. You even managed to beat Derek in that event, and you're in second overall now.
Well, he's very kind of Derek. He just showed me a little bit of tips over there, and he helped me, and I'd like to thank him. He's a nice guy, so I'm sure he's going to do well.
It's a big surprise, wasn't it? He didn't want to come out and try it, and then you showed him the tips, and now he beats you. He must have been a little disappointed, no?
No, absolutely not. Actually, I told him in the back, I said, he'd probably end up beating me. You know, I mean, I rushed a little bit, and he had nothing to lose. You know, he was expecting not to do the event at all, and I have everything to lose, and the pressure just kind of killed me a little bit, you know?
The big Estonian Tarmo Mitt takes his first win, and with the leading two competitors underperforming, Jimmy Marku remains in the hunt. He's back into second place, half a point ahead of Poundstone, 5 back from Samuelsson, and now the king of the stones need only finish in the top 5 to remain unbeaten on Swedish soil.
Our final event is the Atlas Stones, as ever, but this time it's higher and heavier. 130 kilos all the way up to the fifth stone, 180 kilos. That's nigh on 400 pounds. Magnus, you're this close to your 13th world's strongest man. That's top 4, of course, but you're looking for first place surely here.
Well, I've been fighting pretty hard today, and it's one event to go, and everything is really tight. We have a tough event coming up with. I mean, I'm a pretty good stone lifter. Saying that, we have the 5 best stone lifters in the world here today. So, I mean, it's pretty simple game plan. Full turbo pressure and just go for it.
A good learning experience for Laurence Shahlaei, his first international competition. Right, as for Tarmo Mitt, who reached the finals last year. Back from injury as well. Let's see if he can keep the strong impetus going. A winner in his last one. And going well here as well. He's making very short work of the first 4 stones. This is very fast.
And these are the highest platforms in the world as well. Wow, that was quick.
Join us after the break to see whether Poundstone can reel in Samuelsson or whether Jimmy Marku will take his first international honours. Welcome back to the Super Series Grand Prix in Sweden, where Britain's Jimmy Marku is one of 4 strongmen who could still win the title. It's all down to the stones.
Here's Richard Skog, who's put together very good performances. First in Sweden. It's in Norway, should I say, and now here in Sweden. He get on the rostrum. Top 3 finish for Richard Skog. Number 19.9 was Tarmo Mitt's time for all 5. I don't think he's going to match that. Tarmo really has thrown the gauntlet down here. And the 5th stone. Yep, nicely done. What are they going to give him? 24.28. He just has to sit and watch the others now.
Well, for the former Special Forces Marine Richard Skog, it's been another great tournament. And it's now the turn of Derek Poundstone on these very high platforms.
Yeah, and he's not the tallest. And as you can see, he took time with that first stone, and I don't think Tarmo Mitt's going to be bothered by this fella either. 24.28 is his other target. And he's on course. Oh, no, he's made a little error there. Just needs to add a little bit of polish to his work with the stones, does Derek Poundstone, but the more he does this, the better he'll get. We've seen a glimpse of that potential already this year.
That's right, Nick. At Mohegan's Sun, he won on the stones against Pudzianowski. Decent time. Platforms in Mohegan were nowhere near as high as they are here.
And that's going to be a problem for little Jimmy as well. All 5'10" of him and no platform heels. Oh, Jimmy. That is going to be tough, isn't it? Just look at that. He's almost at full extension of his arms just to get that up. He may not even make this.
Well, he's using his face as well.
Now, yeah, face versus Atlas Stone. There's only one winner there. Jimmy has got a real problem with this. Yeah, this is... Jimmy, for safety's sake, might need to get out of this. I mean, that is a real problem for him. I mean, he literally cannot get the extension. He could manage the heavier stones on the smaller platforms. It's not the weight, it's this. He just can't do it. Yeah, I think Jimmy just walks away in disgust. Well, I'll be hoping they don't put a configuration like that together at the world's strongest man. And of course, what hurts Jimmy and what hurt Poundstone will not hurt big Magnus, who should have a huge advantage. Look, no extension on the arms at all. It's almost like this was made for home advantage for Magnus, a cynic would say.
How dare you, Nick? This is Magnus back to his best. You have to say that. The 98 world's strongest man, never beaten on home soil.
He's not going to beat Tarmo Mitt. He's got a chance. He's not going to beat Skog either, but he will beat Poundstone. And that matters. 3rd place.
And that should be enough, Nick.
Well, there's confirmation. Tarmo Mitt beating Skog and Samuelsson beating Poundstone. Confirmation then, victory on home soil for Magnus Samuelsson, but just look at Tarmo Mitt, didn't he finish strong?
Laurence, coming to Sweden, it was quite a steep learning curve, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Competing against these guys, I mean, these are the best guys in the world, so I'm a little bit disappointed even with how I've done. I mean, the events weren't great for me, but I know I could have done a little bit better.
Now, Jimmy, someone who must be very disappointed with that final event. What else could you have done there? You've smashed your head up, sadly, but could you have done anything different?
No, to be honest, I couldn't have done anything different. I tried 3 times, it just felt the stone is a bit heavy. It makes suits for a tall guy. So there you go, I performed well. I was second all over all the time. So
where will we see Jimmy at World's Strongest Man? Can you make the final?
Oh, I like to hope so. He's got a very tough group, so let's see. I'll do my best.
So another former world champion, Magnus Samuelsson, books his ticket to the finals in Charleston, West Virginia. For Samuelsson, it'll be his 13th finals, and he and 28 other athletes will be stepping off a plane here at Jaeger Airfield, ready for competition. For the 2006 champion, Phil Pfister, though, no flight is required. His hometown is Charleston, and he'll be looking to add a 2nd world title. And for the great Pole, Mariusz Pudzianowski, he'll be looking to reach a landmark figure of 5 world titles. Rivalries will be intense, the competition spectacular, as 30 athletes look to answer the question, who will be the world's strongest man 2008?